I have really privately spoken to some council members I know about this particular issue on the school curfew. And I guess I can say I really am just an independent citizen that can weigh in on this issue. I grew up in this city. My family's been here since '62. I live in the neighborhood in which I grew up, 3 blocks down from my elementary school. So I proudly am a product of our public school system. And I'm very proud of that fact. Proud I'm from Bedford, could live anywhere in the world. I choose to live here at home. And I am proud that I am a product of our public school system. But it really seems to me that as the city is its own government entity with our own charter, and so is the school district. And it really boils down to one fact with the school district. It's revenue. They get paid by the state and the feds on the number of students that are in the classroom every day and every year. And when that number drops, the revenue drops. And that is the first thing the school district officials mentioned when dealing with this ordinance when they sent it out to the communities. And our resources in our city, especially our police officers that are really dealt with going to be enforcing this ordinance, their job should be preventing and fighting crime in our city, not being the collection agents for the school district. And this really is, it seems to me that the bureaucrats down at the school district had to either justify their job or come up with some way to get more revenue. That's really what this boils down to. And we can have person after person from the school district come and talk with the city and the city council, the mayor, and us ordinary citizens. But of course, they're never going to come and say the issue that they pushed in the first place isn't working. Everything that we're ever going to hear from the school district officials is how great it is and how great it's working. But the school district didn't go to Fort Worth, they didn't go to Colleyville, they didn't go to North Richland Hills to put in this ordinance. And Hearst doesn't have this ordinance. And I really think a couple of weeks ago at the City of Hearst Town Hall meeting, I don't think the subject of this ordinance was probably brought up by a single citizen that was there. I think they were more concerned about the bad economy and the fact that the city is Hearst is down over $200,000 in their sales tax. I think the economy and city services were the forefront of that meeting, not a potential ordinance like this. I think if the support in the city of Hearst was really at 88%, they would have had it by now. The council would have put it in months ago. I'm really dubious of that study. But nevertheless, I think the city's responsibility is to focus on our own charter, our own responsibilities of basic services, police, fire, and let the school district do their own job. And I'm glad that so many people have gotten more involved with this particular issue. We do always need new people involved in the process. And it's always good to educate our folks. We don't have referendum here. This ordinance, it's not going to, are not going to put it on the ballot. But if people really are concerned about this issue and they do want to make a statement, they can make a statement. It's every year. We have an election. It's in May. So if folks really, support or don't support this particular ordinance, they need to make their voices heard on May 9th. And if you want to make a change and you don't want the ordinance, then you can change the council. That's the bottom line. Just like you can change the school district and the school board. And for people that think, well, the school board doesn't represent me like the mayor and the council does here. The school board members represent everyone in the Hearst Bedford School District, regardless of what city you live in, as long as you are paying taxes within the HEB school district. You don't have to have kids in the public school system. In fact, most of the people in the school district don't. They either have not had children yet or their children are grown and gone. But we are the taxpayers within the school district nevertheless, and they do represent us. So I hope our folks here don't feel like they can't ever go down to the school board and speak with them like they're speaking with us, because they certainly have their right to do so. And I would encourage them to do so, because the school district really is making us the scapegoat, the city of Bedford. They're the ones that are really pushing this. So everyone needs to go down to the school board meeting just like they're coming here. And I would encourage them to do so. And I have one other topic to speak about, another agenda item that was on tonight that really affects a lot of our tax dollars for the folks that do live in the city. The $110,000 on the consulting survey on 183. I have mentioned for years about the 183 issue. I knew it was coming down the pike years ago. I knew that, Bedford, really, we weren't looking at that issue. I think everyone thought, no, if they don't have the money, it'll never happen. They've talked about widening the freeway for 20 years. Well, now it is happening, and now it is here. But I believe the council originally budgeted $75,000 on this. Now it's up to $110,000. Do we need to look at 183? Yes. And I've said that for years. But we've done other studies in the past in our city on the commercial corridors. For years we have talked about economic redevelopment. And if you really want to talk about what issue or two is really the most important issue facing our city, it is the fact that we've never had enough commercial areas in our city. We've never had enough commercial property and or sales tax in particular in our community compared to other cities around us. And this is a challenge that we're definitely going to have to confront. But we've done other surveys in the past on Brown Trail, on Pipeline, on Harwood, on Central, on revitalizing those commercial corridors. And, years later, some of those corridors look worse than ever. So I'm really dubious about spending $110,000, even more than what the council originally budgeted, on a survey on the freeway. We didn't get our money's worth after spending thousands of dollars in the past on the surveys on Pipeline, Brown Trail, Harwood, and Central. So, what are we going to get out of this new survey on the freeway? If you're going to spend $110,000, to me, I would much rather spend it on in addition to maybe looking at the commercial issue of it. Has anyone looked at what's going to happen to the neighborhoods that are still on the freeway? It's going to double in size. And what's going to happen? Are we protecting the integrity of our neighborhoods along the freeway? What's happening there? Because, I own a house 2 blocks north of the freeway, 2 doors down from the judge's parents. So, from inside and outside my other house, you can hear the freeway. Now, where it is, well, it's going to be a lot closer to my house. So, that's going to negatively impact my property value there. So what is the city doing there? Because I know in Irving, when they built 161, they put sound walls up. The Park Cities on 75 and the Dallas North Tollway, they put sound walls up. Are we getting sound walls? Probably not. So as far as spending more money, this type of money on that survey and on consultants, I don't support that because we haven't got our money's worth out of the previous surveys in years past on redoing the commercial corridors. There is no question this is our number one issue coming up. The freeway, economic redevelopment, and code enforcement in our city. There's no question. These are the main issues that we should be focusing on. Not something like this daytime curfew ordinance for the school district. My question is really, what is the city's role and what's most important to us? And I think of most citizens, the most important thing is code enforcement, economic redevelopment, focusing on basic city services. So, I really encourage the council to drive through the city, not just the little part of town that you may live in, but drive through the entire city. You'll find streets falling apart, lack of code enforcement, and like I said, other commercial corridors in our city that we've spent thousands of dollars before in the past on surveys and consultants look worse than ever. So I think we really need to focus on the basics and not be distracted with other issues other government entities like the school district are pushing on us.